Hello and welcome back to another episode of Everything Transformers, Everything G.I. Joe. So guys, this episode's a little late. I was down with a cold, so my voice is a little off. I wasn't sure how this episode would go. Anyway, so I'm feeling a little better, so let's get right into it. So last week I gave you just the waveforms while I chatted, so this time I'm trying to spice it up a little bit and try to keep you more engaged. You're looking at gameplay of the Konami G.I. Joe game. Has anyone played this? Is this the first time you've seen this? Let me know in the comments. It's a great little game. I used to love finding it in the arcade back in the day. These days, you can get this up and running on your computer in less than 5 minutes. I won't provide links, but just Google the game and look up emulators that play it. You can do it. First off, a little bit of an extra segment here than previously scheduled. We're talking leaks. So, I'm not sure what's up with all the leaks recently, but, I'm not complaining. It's just, there's a lot of them. So today a big one hit, and of course we're talking about Transformer Legacy, possibly Evolution Animated Prowl, which, there was a ton of shots released of him, all in bot mode and bike mode. The bot mode looks decent. Prowl takes on more of a realistic look compared to his more rounded animated stylings. The bike mode is a bit weak. It's not the pretty to look at. It might be a little better once you get it in your hands. We'll have to wait and see on that. It's just quite a different look to Prowl. I think a lot of people will be happy to see him join the line. Gonna have to get used to how they've switched it up from, say, the animated stylings to the realistic Legacy stylings. Of course, along with that came a look at the Junkion 2, which weirdly enough also turns into a bike. I believe this Junkion will follow in the footsteps of the first one coming to Evolution, where they can both come apart and combine with the other figures. We'll have to wait and see more pictures to see how it truly works out, but he looks decent. I personally am not that really interested in him. He's not really canon for me, so we'll see how he works out. Of course, if you remember, last week we got to see more leaks in the Transformer Legacy Prime Skyquake, and of course he once again had a more realistic aesthetic compared to the normal Transformers Prime look and feel. He looks really cool. He seems to have a lot of different mechanics in him, and I think a lot of people are excited to potentially get him, possibly a Generation repaint at some point, a Machine Wars repaint at another point. So there's lots of baked in possibilities for that Legacy Skyquake. We'll have to see. Hopefully it comes out soon. Of course, we've previously did another video on the 2024 leaks where we went through the individual figures. Check that out. And then of course I'll plug another video that we did where we went through the top 5 Transformers animated figures that we expect to see in Transformers Legacy Evolution or the line after that. And of course Prowl was on that list. He's in the top 5, and it's cool to see that that prediction was correct and that he is indeed in the Transformer Legacy's future. So, jumping back into a regularly scheduled episode, while we're on the topic of gaming, I was talking about the G.I. Joe Konami arcade game earlier. So while we're on that topic, there was a few new Transformer-related gaming items that came to light. By now, I'm assuming most of you have seen details on the recently announced Transformer action game, Transformer Reactivate. So what's everyone's thought on this game? For me, in today's market, I have an issue with completely CGI trailers. So just the level of detail of the game, is this representative of what we'll see in the final production? Also, this is a console and PC game, but my very first impression of this game, I thought it might have been a VR based game. Simply because you're watching through, which I'm assuming is Bumblebee's eyes, and seeing his hands on the screen, a very VR aspect to it. Then, as the trailer progressed, I thought, were we looking at more of a possible on-rails shooter? Almost like the games you see in the arcade. So, I'm interested to see how this progresses. I think the early details say it is an action-adventure game. So, it could be great. As a rule, Transformer video games aren't aren't that great. There's only been like 1 or 2 that have been pretty good. The War for Cybertron ones are good, and a lot of people like the PlayStation 2 Transformers Armada game. What do you think? Do you think this one's gonna be a hit? Would you pick it up for PC or possibly PlayStation 5 or Xbox? We'll have to wait and see on this one. We'll have curious to see how it does work out, but at the same time, I don't know. We'll see. Then we also recently seen work up what was a canceled Transformers game. This one was Transformers Heavy Metal and was going to be an AR mobile game by Niantic, which got to see a lot of pre-production shots of a bunch of bots from the game. For whatever reason, the game was canceled apparently in June. The designs were okay. Some were better than others. There was a lot of concept art related to such bots as RC, Jazz, Soundwave, Starscream, and some like minor bots. We can see that, is there a chance we could see the designs resurface in the future as part of another project? Possibly not. I mean, most likely the designs are owned by Niantic. I doubt any other Transformer property will be able to pick them up, but some of them did have potential. But, it's too bad that this game will never come out. It's always cool to see more Transformer product out there to give the fans and the community options. But, you know what? As of right now, this one's done, dead in the water, so we'll have to move on. So, this is a lot of Transformer details. And, of course, this is Everything Transformers, Everything G.I. Joe, Episode 2. So, related to leaks, we talked about leaks earlier. There was a lot of Transformer Rise of the Beast stuff come out. I'll get into that in a future episode, possibly. Now, let's talk G.I. Joe for a few minutes. G.I. Joe Classified is a hot topic as of late. A lot of people love their G.I. Joe Classified, me being one of them. And of course, as you know, I do live in Canada, but as a rule, USA and Canada are fairly similar when it comes to toy releases. However, one thing that I have noticed in the past few months is things do seem to end up coming to Canada first before arriving to the shores of the USA. This trend continues as there are reports coming from across the country that the newest Target exclusive wave, Tiger Force Recondo, Bazooka, and the Python Patrol Cobra Officer are indeed hitting the shelves at Toys R Us. This is making many classified collectors' wallets very light and struggling to keep up with all the end-of-year deliveries by Hasbro. While I think for sure I'll pass on the Python Patrol Officer, I'm really looking forward to picking up Recondo. However, I do think I'll have to wait until there's a sale, as Toys R Us has some truly inflated prices on their classified figures. Normally, the prices, they're usually about $10 to $12 over the regular MSRP at Toys R Us, which is really crazy. So, I mean, for me, it's only that one figure, Recondo. I'm really kind of interested in Bazooka too, but I'm torn if I want to wait for the regular release of Bazooka over the Tiger Force release of Bazooka. Right now, I only have Outback as a member of my Tiger Force group, so I'd like to get Tiger Force Recondo. I'm stuck if I want to get Bazooka, so, it's going to cost me a pretty penny to do that, so I might wait. Hopefully, Toys R Us has a sale, possibly. There's always Boxing Day, which is December 26th here in Canada. It's the day after Christmas Day, and that is normally when the sales happen to get you back in the stores. So possibly we'll hold out hope. Also, related to that hope, hopefully our friends south of the border in the USA will see these figures show up on their Target shelves very, very soon, as they do look really nice. Moving on now. So I've said this in previous videos, I don't trust toy orders when it comes to ordering from Amazon, and I've been proven correct once again. Some of you may or may not be aware, the Crimson Guard is one of my favorite G.I. Joe characters. I've always been a fan. He's my number one troop builder. There's something about him I just attached to him at an early age. When I seen that he was coming to Classified, I made sure to jump on pre-orders as soon as I could, as I didn't want to miss out. So in May of this year, the listing went live on Amazon, and I was able to secure a pre-order with an expected delivery in the fall sometime. Now, having a gut feeling about this, I placed a second order with an independent local toy dealer, as I was totally cool with getting 2 of these figures to add to my Cobra troops. Fast forward to October, and I received a delay notice from Amazon, pushing delivery to the middle of December. And I thought, well, this is okay. This line lines up with others and how their plans looked like they were getting theirs in December. But then, of course, December hit, and I received a second delay email pushing the delivery into January. This is where disappointment sat in. However, this is not where my story ended, as I seen others post that they are still expecting their Crimson Guards in December. This is where Amazon totally fails, and I really don't understand how stuff like this happens. Other people were still scheduled to receive their Crimson Guards in December, and they had placed their orders in November. So how is it that I placed my order in May as a pre-order and I got mine pushed to January, where other people ordered theirs in November and are getting there a month later still in December? Not cool by Amazon. The story ends with me getting my classified mainline Crimson Guard from the local independent toy retailer and canceling the Amazon pre-order. Not cool. As a follow-up, at least Walmart's able to keep pre-orders. The G.I. Joe Classified Classic Cardback, aka Retro Crimson Guard, I pre-ordered in October, was delivered yesterday. So at least that was exciting. Now, if we could only work on the packaging, as the Walmart shipping center, well, they kind of put the Crimson Guard in a box that was a little too small for it. So, I mean, it has a small bend on the card back. Like, I don't plan to take the Crimson Guard Classic figure off its card back because I want to display it as that retro piece of basically artwork and a mint and figure box. I want to display it as the figure still on the card back with that awesome retro artwork. So, I mean, it is fine. However, ideally, they needed to use a bigger box. I kind of broke my own rule. I should have ordered two and would have got them in the same delivery, and in essence, they probably would have put it in a bigger box. You know, at the very least, I could have passed along to somebody else, or even could have returned the second one to a store if I didn't want to keep it. So, in the end, I got my Crimson Guard. I got my mainline Crimson Guard from a local retailer, and I got my retro cardback one from Walmart. I am a happy G.I. Joe Classified collector. At the same time, I got options to go to Toys R Us locally and get the newest Tiger Force wave if I want to. Here, Classified is looking good heading in to 2023. So guys, this is episode 2 of the Everything Transformers, Everything G.I. Joe audio podcast. If you could, leave a like on the video and subscribe if you want to see more and don't want to miss anything. Also, if you could, leave a comment on anything you heard here. I always answer all the comments and make sure I read them. Anyways, thank you for watching, and hopefully you have an amazing holiday season. See you in the new year.